Rocking and rolling. We have Gov in the building. How are you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm awesome, man. Blessed. What's up with you?
I'm doing great, bro. You know, a couple days ago, I made a post saying I need all the OGs. I need everybody who helped facilitate and start and help plant the seed in the Detroit music scene that we have now. The people who kind of originated the sound, the style, everything about Detroit music. How did it get to this point? And your name got mentioned a lot. We talked a few weeks ago about getting you on as well. You're here. Let's talk about Detroit music, man. But let's first talk about you. Where are you from, bro?
Oh, man, I'm from Southwest Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right out there, exit 43A off 75.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Schaefer. What's that? Ridge, E-Course, BMF Hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. What was growing up in Detroit for you like?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I kind of bounced between Detroit and LA, so I was growing up here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like back and forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool though. You know what I'm saying?
What was the first moments that you introduced yourself into the music scene?
So my pops, right? My pops was a part of this group called Five Special, signed to Electric Records back in like 79, early 80s, managed by Ron Banks from the Dramatics. Okay. So I used to be in the studio with him at their rehearsals for concerts, and I just fell in love with music just off watching my pops get down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, talk about your dad's contribution to music.
I mean, basically, my pops, man, he was just my inspiration, really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one hell of a performer, and the dude can really sing. So it was just like I was watching. I was a fan of my own father. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you bring that microphone a little bit closer to you? Yep, just
that's cool.
Yeah, that's perfect. What was his career like when you were watching it happen?
I mean, his career was cool. Like, you know, he actually had a tour with the Jacksons, the Jackson 5.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And they went out, and he tell the story all the time, but they actually went out and did one show. And Mike was like, we got to kick him off the show.
Wow.
They can't be on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it was just watching him just grow as an artist, you know what I'm saying? And then he went from Five Special to the Temptations, from the Temptations to the Dramatics. So my pops was like, he had the best of all the best groups. You know what I'm saying?
What made Michael Jackson kick him off of the tour?
Because they got out there and shut shit down. When they opened it up, the people was asking for an encore. You know what I'm saying? And Jackson's wasn't feeling that too much. So
the opener was overshining the headliner.
There it is.
Wow, man.
Yep.
That's a real thing in the industry when it gets to that level?
I mean, it still goes on to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it's a lot of untapped artists that's hard as fuck, but they get overshadowed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they don't, a lot of the dudes that's already up and established, they don't want these dudes to come in because they feel like they're going to get surpassed.
I will never forget a moment where I was sitting with a very, very established artist in Detroit currently.
Okay.
I was sitting in a room with him, and we were talking about another upcoming artist in Detroit, and he literally said, I'm not going to give him any juice. He's like, I'm not giving him no juice. He's like, he's fire. I fuck with him, but I'm not giving him no juice. And I remember hearing that, and I was just like, damn, it's really like this.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's really like this.
That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's enough for everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like, we are born with these God-given gifts to be able to do what we do. So why wouldn't you want to, you know what I'm saying, pay it forward or at least try to help the next person?
Yes.
That's just my whole thing. There's too many politics involved, bro.
When your dad is getting moved from different band to different band, different artist to different artist, is it his decision or is it like what the opportunity? Temptations is huge. Yeah. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dennis Edwards heard my pops. And, God rest his soul, Dennis Edwards, but he been heard of my pops, and it was somebody that he was looking for. So he went and actually sought my pops out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened.
How did you continue from there? How did your pops continue from that point?
I mean, he did his thing, man, but my pops, and I really don't like to put him out there, but I tell my truths, you know what I'm saying? And he cool with it, but he got addicted to drugs and just a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying, that kind of pulled him away from his career, you know what I'm saying? So, that was the downside to it. But for me, it was motivation for me to do music, just period, because shit, I got cousins that was rapping in rap groups. I had all kind of shit around me.
Was he financially stable throughout his career?
Hell no, he got robbed. And I hate to say it because, when you think about the Dramatics, right, there's like one of the most classic, legendary R&B groups, soul groups ever, right? Ron Banks robbed my father.
How's this?
So they never got royalties. They had a record called "Why Leave Us Alone." It was a top record, number 9 on the Billboard charts for weeks, and he never seen no money, no recoupment, no nothing.
Was it easier back then to not pay an artist?
Yeah, because I mean, all you had was people that just wanted to sing. They wanted to get the fuck out there and just be, do what they love to do.
Did he ever get to meet Parliament?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
I mean, they're still kind of. I played drums with their bassist one time over here. I was like, you guys are really still out here, but did he get a chance to meet George Clinton?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, being around my dad, I done met everybody.
Talk about walking. For you, you're obviously you're young, so you don't know probably the stature of what these people are at. But do you remember significant moments of meeting certain artists or celebrities at that time?
I think my first, I had my first fan moment when I met Dennis Edwards from The Temptations.
Cool.
Because it was like, I always seen him on TV. I always seen him at concerts and shit like that, but never met him in person. You know what I'm saying? So for me to see a Temptation in person, it was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So that was big for me. I met Michael Jackson. Yeah, I met him. I was a kid, though. This was like 80, I want to say 84, 85, when he had the, what was it? No, it might have been 87 or 88 when he dropped the Bad album and he had the tour and came out here to the, was it the Palace? It was the Palace when he came to Michigan. I got a chance to meet him. It was me and probably like 300 other kids, but we all got a chance to meet him and sit and take pictures and all that shit with him.
Was this energy radiant? Like, how does it feel like talking to somebody that was at that level, worldwide phenomena?
Well, I mean, he was just, you could just tell he liked dealing with kids, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, he really was on some trying to give us the motivation to stay in school and be whatever we want to be type shit. But it wasn't like we just sat and had a conversation. Like, I mean, it wasn't like that, but it was pretty dope. I was in a room with a gang of kids, like I said, and we just all had a chance to say, hey, Mike, and meet him and get autographs and all that type of shit.
Through past Michael Jackson, was there anybody else that you got to run into during your father's time, kind of?
Let me see. Ollie Woodson from The Temptations, of course. L.J. Reynolds from The Dramatics. Who else did I get a chance to meet? I told you about George Clinton and Parliament and them.
That must have been a wild dude to meet, man. George
Clinton.
Hey,
man, at United Sounds, that's where I met him at. Funky.
He's really that dude, right? Like, when you talk to him.
But outside of just the music being funky, nah, niggas was funky. Like, niggas was funky, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't take showers. None of them, bro.
Oh, you mean like that kind of funky?
Yeah, they wouldn't take showers, bro. They'd be in there for a week. Coke, all kind of shit going on.
Wow.
Fooling, but making some of the best music ever.
What do you think it is about that time, right? Do you think drugs have a part to do with it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I mean, but shit, them using drugs back then was a part of their creative process. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it made them create or however, but it made them create. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what that was.
Well, is your phone? Is that your phone?
Is it me?
Oh yeah. You can take that if you want, man. We got time. We're chilling.
This motherfucker shouldn't be ringing. Truthfully,
you're good.
I had the ringer off. Hold on, let me cut this motherfucker all the way off. But anyway, yeah, man. The shit was it was cool as hell to hear the music that came out because they made like a lot of classic shit and it's still being used to this day. So, you know, I'm just glad that I've had that type of experience to be around a lot of that type of shit to see it. You know what I mean?
When were you started making music relatively young yourself, right?
Yeah.
How did you get inside the studio?
So funny shit is my pops, they just did a recording session at a studio called Sound Suite. It used to be on Puritan, but they shut it down. I go there with him. They wrap up their session. The drummer and the bass player get into a little jam session. And I just started rapping, like freestyling. My pops was like, hello. So he pulled the mic down. I'm 5 years old, mind you. It was 1985. He pulled the mic down, sat me on the stool and was like, rap. They played the beat and I just rapped. I rapped for like maybe 10 minutes. And, you know, that's when they was using the 2-inch reels. Wasn't no Pro Tools and none of that shit. It was a tape. You know what I'm saying? So I rapped for about 15 minutes straight.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And they found the talent right there, like you had something.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You said you were 5 years old, and this
I was 5, bro.
1985?
85.
What kind of music was out there at the time for hip-hop? You got like Africa Bambaataa, I'm assuming, at the time?
That was a little bit before.
Okay.
But you had Run DMC, Fat Boys, 85. You had
like Rakim at that time?
Yeah, you had Eric B and Rakim. You had a lot of dudes, Boogie Down Productions, a lot of different dudes out back then. You know what I'm saying? But Run DMC really had shit on lock though.
Okay.
Because around that time, they had dropped the Raising Hell album and a few other. They had a few other projects out, but yeah, 85 was that year.
Yeah, Run DMC, right? That's a era of music. When you look back at it, you can still bob your head to it, man.
Yes, sir.
To this day.
Yes, sir.
The music was just so impactful.
Yeah.
You're in Detroit at this time?
Yeah.
And was there music happening here as far as hip hop's concerned?
Hell yeah, bro. You had Awesome Dre. You had Merciless Amir. You had man. You had a lot of dudes that was actually rapping, and even with my cousins and then the Ever Ready crew, like a lot of them was doing their thing in 85, 86. So that's why I said I had like a lot of influences around me. You know what I'm saying?
How far back do you think hip hop goes in Detroit? Like, what year do you think it kind of started emerging more so?
I want to say right there in 84, 85.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I really want to say then because that's around the time, it was cool to be a dope dealer and a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's when drugs really started first coming in and taking, like, crack started taking all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it felt good to be able to go to the studio and rap about balling or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember the most significant artist from Detroit at that time during 85?
At that time?
Mm-hmm. Was anybody standing out in Detroit in 85? Or 85 to 90?
I would say Detroit's Most Wanted.
Okay.
Detroit's Most Wanted for sure. Mossy, Ski Lee. They really was like, they was them dudes. Awesome Dre, another one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, he had to deal with Priority. You know what I'm saying? Priority Records with Cuban though. So
why are people coming on the podcast saying like they were the first people to start rapping or that they originated the scene? If we're talking about 85 right now, you have the credentials to be speaking about this because you were there and you've been a part of the scene in a major way. Why are people talking about they started rapping relatively in the early 2000s or whatnot? Well,
I'm going to say this. A lot of it got to do with ego based on their accomplishments. And I ain't mad at nobody for feeling how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Just like with RJ Lamont, bro. I watched RJ become who he is. You know what I'm saying? When he first started out, like we booked him to do parties for us down at Plan B. You know what I'm saying? So he played some of my music before, and he trust me. He was deep into playing Detroit music. I give him that. But to get on here and say, hey, I created it. If it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be no scene, bro. It was so many people before that, you know what I'm saying, that was actually putting the scene on the map and actually laying the ground, you know what I'm saying, like putting in real work too.
Okay, and just for a frame of reference for people, RJ Lamont came on the podcast and said that he started the Detroit rap scene. So RJ Lamont came on and said he started the Detroit rap scene and he got hella feedback from a lot of OGs in the game. Yeah. Including yourself, including Tone, including a lot of major producers in Detroit saying that he wasn't the originator of it. And so what you're saying is the scene started way before that.
It started way before that. Now, where I will credit him is he woke it back up. He one of the major ones that woke it back up. He's a key player in waking the shit back up because at that time, it had died down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think, bro. You had niggas like me, Stretch Money, K-Deezy, Sino, a few other people, you know what I'm saying? Then before us, you had the Blaze, the Wands, the Street Lords, the Rock Bottom. So once it died down, he was the new nigga on the scene as far as the DJ and shit goes, and he was breaking records for new artists, you know what I'm saying? So for the newer generation, I will say, yeah, he woke it back up, but as far as creating the scene, the scene, like, let's just be honest, right? If Dr. J didn't inspire Michael Jordan, would we have a Michael Jordan? You get what I'm saying? Like, Dr. J was his idol. He says it a lot. So you have to be inspired by somebody to even be in the position that you're in today, to even want to do what you're doing.
Right. Now, if you look at it in a generational aspect, like let's just say R.J. Lamont was a part of the new generation of artists that are coming in Detroit, would you agree with him on that aspect?
Once again, I agree with him as far as waking the scene back up.
Okay, waking it up is a different term versus saying creating it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if you contributed to bringing it back and waking it up, I give you that.
Yeah.
Because you did. And I'm not going to take that from him. But to say you outright created the scene, it wouldn't have been no scene had you not. That's, to me, I just feel like that's a reach. And it's a tad bit disrespectful to the predecessors.
Okay.
In my eyes.
Well, I respect the way you put it because you're basically giving him the accommodations. Like you're saying, you did do something pivotal. You did do something major, but you got to acknowledge the fact that there was a scene before that.
Exactly.
That you just reawoke it. Now, let's rewind to the scene now. We're talking about the 80s right now, and we're talking about some artists that you were seeing develop. Kind of walk us through a little bit of the timeline while simultaneously trying to maintain your storytelling too of how you developed yourself as an artist.
Okay.
So as you were developing yourself as an artist, what were you seeing around you in the music scene? Who were you seeing, and how were you seeing the scene develop as you were coming up?
Yeah, so I was around like a lot of different artists. I was around BDF Poncho, dudes like that kept me sharp. Then I got my own homies that my older homies that they was rapping, but they wanted to live vicariously through me because their time was pretty much up, you know what I'm saying, with the rap shit. So they basically poured into me, and I just watched a lot of different artists come up, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of different artists I had up under my wing, you know what I'm saying? I worked with a lot of different artists, before they became who they are, you know what I'm saying? So, we all developed each other. I don't take credit for none of that, but I mean, I come from that hip hop shop era where me, Royce, Eminem, Phi Ella, V Styles, and all the last ones out, and all Low Lewis, and all the rest of these dudes. We used to be at the hip hop shop every Saturday. That was work. That was training for us. That was workouts for us.
And I believe the hip hop shop is now Bankroll's Productions. I think they took it and they remodeled it and stuff and rebranded it.
Yep.
But it's interesting when you walk in there to know legends were literally standing right here,
bro. Man, from everybody from Trick to Eminem to like, bro, that was our battleground right there. You get what I'm saying? Like every Saturday. I mean, my first time being up there, I battle proof.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I was young, bro. I was like 15 years old. And I don't know why all them older niggas always wanted to pick on me and pick me out. But every time they saw me, they'd start throwing shots at me, but it was still sharp and steel. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And it made me stronger as an MC. So it was
How
cool.
old was Proof when you were battling Proof?
Shit, Proof was in his 20s.
Okay.
He was in his 20s for sure.
Did you stand up to him?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro. I didn't back down from nobody, bro. I probably was like, I was brash as hell, bro. I didn't back down from nobody. Yeah.
So Proof is the first person you ever battle rap with? Or one of the most
my cousin was.
Proof, your cousin was the first person to battle Proof?
No, my cousin. No, I thought you was asking me who was the first person I battled. Yeah. When I recorded that song in 85, that was a diss record towards my cousin.
But you're a kid, so you're just joking kind of type.
Nah, I was mad as hell.
What were you mad about?
Because he was lying to me, talking about we gonna get you in the studio, you go come do these shows with us, all that shit. And then when the shows come, I never went. They went to the studio, I never went. So I got mad because I felt like I can hang with them.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I went in and I did sucker MCs, all that shit. It went down.
Okay, all right. We're not skipping anything from the early 90s to the mid 90s though, too, because I know when you're talking about Proof and stuff like that, we're talking about relatively the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Was there
95.
95, right? So from 90 to 95, was there anything significant that you were witnessing before you got to get to that shop?
Man, I mean, like I said, going back and forth to LA, Dub C in the Mad Circle, Ice Cube getting a chance to really, tap into the whole Death Row shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen a lot of Death Row shit going on. So
you were in the mix of the Death Row Records thing, or like I
wasn't involved,
but just like watching it.
Yeah, I see. The thing is with me, right? In 1992, I went out there and I got involved in gang culture. Okay. So with gang culture comes a lot of different relationships, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, a lot of people that was a part of what I'm a part of, they was in the industry, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, hey, come ride with me. We finna go Cause all my big homies, my big cousins, they knew how much I love to do music and shit. So it wouldn't be shit for them to take me to a studio, sit there and listen, sit there and watch, and just get motivated. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you kind of get to sit and watch Death Row Records in some state, in a certain stage of your life, just to watch it transpire. What did you get to witness at that time?
I mean, I got to witness Corrupt, Dog Pound. I met Snoop when I was 13.
Yeah.
Shit, I watched a lot of their sessions, you know what I'm saying? The one thing I hate I never got a chance to do was sit in a session with Pac. You know what I'm saying? I hate that I never got a chance to sit in a session with Pac, bro.
Did you get to meet him?
I never met Pac.
Oh, wow.
He came to Detroit, bro, and I didn't have a chance to meet him.
Damn, man.
Didn't have it. He went to a record shop. It used to be a record shop on the corner right next to Cooley High School. It sat right on the corner. What's that? Is that Finkel or Pure? Whichever one it is. But wherever Cooley High School is, it was a record shop called Justice that sat right there. And Pac came here for a signing, and I wanted to meet him and couldn't get there.
Man, that's crazy. So you're watching, man. So damn, that's crazy as hell.
I hated Criss Cross and Illegal too.
Why?
I'm just telling you, cause they was young and they couldn't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So I spent a lot of my time writing raps to diss them niggas.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But it ended up being all love because I ended up meeting Chris, the one that passed away from Criss Cross. We ended up meeting in Atlanta. And I told him about it. It was crazy. We had a good time though when we met. We was at a club called 112 back in the day before they shut it down. And I had a chance to kick it with him and tell him like, hey nigga, I was y'all biggest enemy that y'all never knew.
Was rap dissing back then more of a sport, or was it actually?
It was a sport.
Was it serious?
It was a sport.
It didn't get serious like to the degree it's at this time right now.
Shit, when Cube dropped No Vaseline and Ruthless Records and NWA, it got kind of serious.
Yeah, that
you know
was,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, but as far as like upcoming artists, like if dissing somebody isn't like the craziest thing in the world, or starting a rap beef isn't like the end of your life type thing. Like
what,
it's
now?
No, at that
back
time.
then. Nah. It was just for the sport.
Cool.
A lot of people kept it on records. You might have fist fights, but
when you met Snoop Dogg and in the studio, what was kind of like? What did you learn from that experience? Because he's young at that time. He's
don't talk to niggas while they working.
Woo.
Leave them niggas alone when they working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, trying to introduce myself. Nah, nigga, you can't talk to him right now. You busy, bro. Like, okay, my bad.
Did you sense something different from the studio vibes of that time when you're sitting with Snoop Dogg at Death Row Records versus sitting in a studio now with the current artist? Do you feel like a different type of aura or energy or anything? And what's the differences you've seen between those times and now?
See, artists actually was putting in work back then, like real work. Like I'm talking about going in there and shit. We'd be working on the same song for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays is, hey, punch me in. Every 2 bars, punch me in. So it's a big difference between how we used to record back then and how we record now. You know what I'm saying?
The process was different. It was probably more soulful maybe back in the day, because it's like when you're writing lyrics, I'm feeling like you're able to think about it in a different perspective versus like just punching a crazy ass bar at that very moment, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
But also meeting people like that. Snoop Dogg is obviously the biggest. I mean, literally one of the biggest artists in the world ever in history.
Yeah.
He's recognized literally everywhere. What did you notice about him at that time? Like, did you know he was gonna take off like to the degree he took off?
I felt it, bro, because I ain't gonna cap, bro. He became one of my favorite motherfucking artists after that Deep Cover record, and I kind of knew then. Just his style, charisma, his whole everything. It was just his whole aura on the track was just crazy. It was something that was never heard. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I felt like it was very innovative, and I could sense it was gonna go. So when they did G Thing, I said, "Yup, it's gonna go from here to here." Yeah. But then when he dropped "What's My Name," that was it.
You knew it was time.
It was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Then he came back with Gin and Juice.
I know this is a stupid spin question, but I don't know if you've ever seen a show called South Park.
Yeah.
But there's an episode of South Park where they talk about rappers and stuff, and they have Snoop Dogg in the show. And when Snoop Dogg's recording in the booth, he's talking like a rapper, he's talking streets, talking hood.
Yeah.
But then when he takes it off, he has like a completely white professional voice. And then he's calling Will Smith, and Will Smith has like a white professional voice. And I think the whole concept was like off of music, the people are like actually very like logically sounding and everything like that. Were the artists really the artists?
Nah, them niggas was who they are.
For real.
Like everybody out there was who they are. I don't care what nobody say. They could get into it with a million rappers and get called studio gangsters. Nah, them niggas was really that.
The only person that I was always, because I was huge into NWA and I was huge into Ice Cube, and I was reading that was one of the people that it was a character based thing. Like Ice Cube was a character more so than what he actually lived to some degree.
See, people with Cube, man, people try to put this narrative on him like because he went to a high school that was in the burbs and in the valley and this, that, and the third, that he was, man, Cube was just as hood as the rep, bro. 111.5, 111.1, man, listen, that's the area, that's the hood that Cube is from. You know what I'm saying? Dub C, shit, man, the list goes on and on. So he was in the hood. He was really on some hood shit. He never banged. He never got put on no set or nothing. But, I mean, shit, he had enough homies around him where he didn't have to.
And Tupac's progression, too, is very interesting to me, too, because, I mean, even from a spiritual aspect, I saw pictures of him when he was young.
Right.
And he had like a really, really like, you could see the look in his eyes, like a true, pure poet, like a young poet. And he had like a soft, sensitive side to him.
Yeah.
And then watching the progression of him basically turn into a gangster.
Yeah.
Right. And so like when people watch that, they're like, well, is it real gangster? Like, how did that turn out?
You know, environment play a big role in a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because me being from Detroit and going out to L.A., I was never expected for me to ever be a gang member. You get what I'm saying? But to move into these certain areas is sometimes you might not have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Because where I was living at, it was you bang or you get banged on. One of the two. You know what I'm saying? So it was really no option. Wow. If you lived in the neighborhood out there, that's the hood you're going to claim. Now, I will say this: a lot of the sets they have compassion for certain people, because if they see you a hooper, a football player, and you good at what you do, they ain't gonna press you. You see what I'm saying? But you just a regular nigga in the hood. Oh, then you from over here? You live? Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah. You one of us, or you nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Was Tupac considered one of those special ones?
I feel like Pac got into the environment. I really don't like speaking on shit I don't know, but from what I gathered. Pac got into a environment where Mob Piru was what it was, and his loyalty to Suge was so heavy to the point where I'm riding with Suge. Suge came and got me out of prison. You know what I'm saying? When nobody else did, I'm riding with Suge. So if it's Mob Piru, that's what it's gonna be.
Wow. So he really just got into the role. Not that it was playing a role, but he really just got into the part that he had to fill.
Man, don't get it twisted, bro. I hear so many stories about Pac. I got homies that actually know Pac. My homeboy Dank from he's from Marin City, where Pac used to be. And he told me a lot of stories about Pac, and Pac was never no hoe. So I don't never want nobody to get it twisted like he was just this hoe ass nigga that got around a bunch of gang members and became a gang. Nah, Pac really was G before the Mob Piru shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to give the guy credibility or anything, but when you're shooting at cops and stuff like that, at that point, like, you were the most fearless person on the planet Earth, man.
Pac didn't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, like, come on.
He stood on what he stood on, and that's the thing. Like, he had a lot of people fearing him because of that. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear these lies and these created narratives about Pac, it's just all hogwash to me. I don't pay no attention to it because, like I say, I know niggas that was with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they could tell you all about his character. Yes. From Richie Rich on down to E40, like, these niggas was with him, so they know how he cut. You know what I'm saying? So I don't pay no attention to these different stories and all that bullshit. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, I just wanted to get your perspective on that. I think it's very interesting. I was a massive I was one of those people that didn't want to believe Tupac was dead for like 10 years. Forever.
Me too, bro.
Still didn't want to believe.
I found out. The night I found out, bro, it was in 97. The night I found out, or 96. Was it 96 or 97? It was one of them. But I found out we was at a high school swing out, bro. It was an arcade right there on 8 Mile where Truth at. It used to be an arcade and a go-kart track right there. And every Friday and Sunday, you know, we'd go up there and we'd have like high school night. And when that shit came over the loudspeaker, bro, everybody in that motherfucker was crying. Like, I didn't see one dry eye in that motherfucker. Yeah. So it was fucked up. Me being me, I had to really find out from the source, like, nigga, what happened? Is he dead for real? Nah. I'm making phone calls. Everybody like, yeah, he gone. I'm like, damn.
You're right, man.
That's crazy.
Devastation, bro. Just pure devastation.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, good. Battery change? Okay, cool. We'll take a quick break real fast.
Yeah, that was some wild shit.
This is fun. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just learning. I'm learning. I love it. I love it, man. People don't know, bro. Like, I used to be so soaked into hip hop. I stopped listening to hip hop. Not stopped listening to it, but I stopped investing my time into it because when I got behind the scenes, it made me become like less of like I'm like
a fan of it.
Yeah, because a lot of this shit's so like not what I thought it was.
It's fucked up, bro.
This time and era, at least. That's why I feel like. That's why I was so invested in Tupac, because I was like, God damn, I know that shit was real. Like, just as a person, that was real.
But see, I'm glad people like you exist because, see, with your podcast, right, this is the reason why I took to it. Because I could tell just by your interviews and how you get down, you know something. You know what I'm saying? You actually invested some time in doing research or just being a part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? You're not just somebody that's jumping on here saying, hey, I can make a couple dollars off rappers. Let me just do a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, you know, just to sit here and kick it with you about that and for you to even want a perspective of OGs on your show, that says a lot. Because a lot of these podcasts don't even, they don't even care to, they don't even respect the OGs about this shit. They don't.
It's the root of everything too. It's like the
That's
people
what I'm
who
saying.
put this whole thing together. A lot of people come on here and they'll say how bad they feel for Doughboyz and Eastside because Team Eastside, because it's like they built a foundation but didn't get to receive the what's the word for it?
The
accolades for it, really, or even the money to that degree. Well, they did it fine. Like now they got their time and everything like that, but it's not enough really still at the end of the day, because they planted the seed that gave people this opportunity.
They really did.
I want to get into, we'll get into them in a minute. Let's stick to the late 90s. Obviously we'll get past, in the 90s, you're still making music.
Yeah.
You're, battling at the hip hop shop.
Yes, sir.
Who are some people that you got to battle with?
So I battled, like I said, I started out battling Proof. I had a chance to, we didn't really battle, but we kind of like passed the mic back and forth, me and Royce.
Yeah.
Let me see, who did I actually battle though? It was one battle that I had I forget this dude's name, bro, but this dude used to wear the fakest jewelry, and I always used to catch it, and I talked about it in every fucking battle. And Royce tell a story better than me, because we was at the Ebony Showcase Lounge over there on 7 Mile. And the motherfucker, just like I said, I don't know what it is about me. I was young, but I don't know why everybody used to just single me out and want to battle me. You know what I'm saying? But shit, he called me out. I ripped his ass to shreds that night. Forgot the dude's name. But then me and Marv won. Me and Marv won used to battle. We used to go to McKenzie High School together and battle at the lunch table.
Yeah.
Marv won. He's like one of the biggest battle rappers now. I wouldn't fuck with him today. I wouldn't dare battle him today.
Well, how did you get introduced to Royce?
So, funny shit is, I didn't get introduced to Royce from music. We got introduced by basketball, hooping at a park in Oak Park. So him and my homeboy June, which was part of Royce's clique, the Elite at the time, I used to hate them two motherfuckers together, because they was like a Penny and a Nick Anderson. Like, Royce could shoot the ball, but June was a fucking shooter. So if I was on their team, I was cool. But if I had to play against them, I hated them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Royce actually could ball back in the day. I don't know about today. I'll probably kill him today. But
I mean, I haven't seen him on any team, the teams out there.
He be chilling.
Summer leagues and whatnot.
He be chilling. He rather box and train for boxing and shit like that.
I think Royce is a legend that is still tapping in with the city and he's putting on the people that are here now, and it's like so awesome to see, because there's a lot of OGs and people who really have impacted the scene and have a major name that aren't doing it. So to see Royce doing it is kind of like a good voice to have. Even when he put on, even though it's a little bit of a different type of music, Cluner from Farmington Hills. I mean, damn, bro, like he really didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, Royce believes in the culture, number one. He's real heavy on the culture, tough on it. And, whatever he got, he give. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly one of the people I could say that didn't go Hollywood.
When you're watching music at that time, without naming any names, did you see an artist that didn't do as much work but got a high level of success versus somebody that was grinding?
Nope. Everybody was working.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you, bro, the era was different. Everybody was working. Everybody. It was not one person that wasn't working. Even if they had the weakest product, they was working. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers be spending shit. Motherfucker go to the studio at 8 in the morning, won't leave at 8 at night. Sometimes later than that. Wow. So motherfuckers used to really be working. And the beautiful part about it is, shit, everybody was together. Wasn't nobody beefing. Like, I can pull up at anybody's studio at any given moment, they gonna be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I miss the most about the hip hop era or the community in Detroit, period, because it ain't like that no more.
Did you get a chance to meet Eminem at the hip hop shop? Or?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Or what was the first time seeing him like?
Man, it was odd because you looking at him, and then when he started rapping, it's like, oh shit. So, you know, he had a lot of oh shit moments up there. You know what I'm saying? And really, to be honest, that's why he's where he is today. You know what I'm saying? One of the best to ever do the shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just glad I had a chance to be around it, you know what I'm saying, and witness it.
When people are seeing him, obviously he stands out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not expecting him to deliver the way he delivers. Mm-hmm. Did he get boozed? Did he get praised?
Man, he never got booed because he was so lyrically precise. You could never boo him, bro. Yeah, the only thing you could do is be mad because you can't fuck with him.
Nah.
But you can't boo him. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you would really look like a hater.
Yeah.
You know this white boy just got up here and said some shit. Why would you want it? Why?
When you're watching him, is there a moment that stands out specifically that you will never forget in dealing with Eminem?
Eminem rapped for 45 minutes straight. Never seen nobody do that shit at the hip hop shop.
Wow.
DJ Head, shout out to DJ Head, one of the best DJs I've ever came across, but that motherfucker was so precise with switching the instrumentals and just, it was like he just did a whole fucking 45-minute song. Never seen nobody do that shit before.
And this was like a show type thing? Or
nah, he was just rapping. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was a cipher. And he just wouldn't stop. And motherfuckers was like, oh, he ain't quitting. Let's just stand back and watch him go. And he went about 45 minutes straight.
Was it solid the whole way through?
Solid as fuck. No fuck-ups.
Damn, 45 minutes straight. Bro. Jesus Christ, man. Did you get to build a relationship with him afterwards, or was it kind of just like see you at the shop and then he blew up?
Yeah, then on top of that, you know, we ran into each other a few different times. Like, I was on the actual remix for the Detroit versus Everybody shit.
Talk about that process,
so,
man.
Yeah, that shit was dope. Trick was the spearhead for it. You know, everybody came to his studio and recorded their verses and whatnot. Still had a chance to really chop it up with him and, you know, get his feedback on the record and all that type of shit. So it was pretty dope, man. I mean, shit, it was so many of us on that motherfucker. The shit was like 15 minutes long. I think Payroll was on that motherfucker. Who all was on that motherfucker? Everybody from Bodie James to, man, there was so many people on there. You'll have to look at the credits to see who all was on there, but it was like a 15-minute long record.
And then you got to kind of revisit a little bit and how people catch on to what you guys built there. Mm-hmm. Watching his career progress, though, watching Eminem's career progress, and chilling with somebody and you're rapping and you're beefing, you're rapping and you're freestyling with him in a studio, and all of a sudden he's worldwide. You know what I'm saying? What was that process like watching that happen?
It was a proud moment to see for me. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, you linked up with my favorite producer in the world, Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, bro, I couldn't afford no Dr. Dre beats, so all my beats used to sound like Dre beats back in the day because I studied his sound and I made it my own.
Did you ever try to get a Dre beat? Did you ever see how much it was costing?
Hell no, I wasn't crazy. I knew what time it was.
I ain't even try, bro. Man.
I ain't even try.
I heard Ice Cube, I heard it's like crazy to even get him to listen to your music. I think it costs like $50,000 just for him to like listen to it or something like that. Ice Cube right now.
Cube?
Just to listen.
I ain't know that much.
I don't know the exact numbers, but somebody who tried to get a verse with Ice Cube, he said it was $50,000 just to listen to it. I think just to listen for like 10 seconds of it.
More power to Cube. I would never do no shit like that. But more power to Cube, bro.
But think about it. It's kind of weird. Like if you pay, how much would you pay for like? How much would you have paid for a verse back in the day for Eminem when he first started out?
That's funny you asked, bro, because I wouldn't even know what the...
You don't even know?
I wouldn't even know.
Do you never paid for a features back? Was features a thing back in the day?
I mean, motherfuckers was just working together. Like I said, we just pull up at each other's studios and just go crazy.
Wow, so it's a different time. It wasn't...
Yeah, it wasn't none of that, bro. Like, the only person that ever charged me for a verse that I can honestly think of, and shit, after he heard the song, he really didn't even charge me.
Yeah.
Stretch Money.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? But I never, all my features and records that I did with people, I never
When you're dealing with that time there, you're watching Eminem explode. Who else is in the mix that you're watching at the same time that's staying relevant but just not reaching that same stature?
From here?
Yeah, from here.
With Trick, of course.
Right. Is Obi Trice from here too?
Obi Trice,
Right.
yeah. But that's another one. I left him out, but that's another one that used to go crazy at the hip hop shop. Me and Obi used to go at it.
Yeah.
Not beefing, but we'll rap until we run out of gas. You know what I'm saying? But that's another one. Obi Trice. Shit. Man, there was a few people, bro, like Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man. It's so many of us,
you got
bro.
D12 too, right? You can
D12,
everybody that's
yeah.
involved in D12.
D12, yep. I don't know how I forgot them. Shit. Bizarre.
Yeah.
All of everybody, like I said, bro, it was so many people at the hip hop shop in that time. It's like an alumni, bro. Like,
Whoa.
you know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
So yeah, man, it was a lot of us up there, man. Talk
about your status in the scene at that time. When people were looking at you, what were they kind of accommodating you for and saying like, this is a specialty, this is what he's really great at?
So I was younger than everybody.
Okay.
But I held my own, and everybody praised me. I didn't have one older cat ever say nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Ever. Like, everybody they wanted to push me. They wanted to make me, they wanted me to go further than what I've gone. You know what I'm saying? And that's genuine from a lot of different dudes. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, that shit don't happen like that.
How do you progress from that point? So you guys are doing the rap battles. You guys are all together making music happen. What's your first big strike into the scene? So
my first big strike into the scene, I dropped a single, and I put it on. I dropped the single, put it on Battle of the Beats. This one Spud was working at one, I forgot whatever the number of the station was back then. But it went from, it's hot now, but whatever it was back then, I forgot the numbers. But 105.9, that's what it was. And Spud he used to host the Battle of the Beats. So the record was on there for like maybe 13 weeks. Number one. I'm beating everybody. I even beat M when he first dropped I am the way I am. When he dropped that record, my record got the most votes on the Battle of the Beats. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, okay, people just calling in, they voting for it, that's cool. I get booked to do summer jams. This when they was doing summer jam at Hart Plaza. I get out there, and as soon as the record went on, people went crazy and they were singing that shit. I didn't even have to say a word. They knew the lyrics, and it fucked me up. Wow. So from that point on, that's when my buzz kind of elevated. You know what I'm saying? How do songs get in rotation back then? It's a voting system. How do people hear about your song in the first place? How does it get out there? Man, it's so many politics involved with that shit. Like, that's one thing that from back then that has not changed. It's still the same. It's still political as hell. You still got to know somebody. You still got to be a part of the clique. You still got to do this. You still got to do that. It's just a lot of politics, bro. And that's one that I can honestly say from the 90s all the way up to current times, that shit never changed. It's still the same way. Right. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now, your songs that hit, what happens after that? You see money eventually? Like, what do you see? Because actually, I dropped that record, and I actually rode the wave of that record for like 2 years. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Because the record was just crazy, so I ended up doing a lot of shows. I had like out-of-town shows, all kind of shit, bro. So that was like my first break into the industry and actually seeing some type of light from it. I lost my fucking mind, bro. I made so much money and blew so much money so fast. I didn't know what the fuck. I was young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I started getting off into the streets too. So it was like, I'm just like, fuck it. It's a world. You know what I'm saying? Who's breaking the checks for you at that time? Who's cutting the check for you, and how are you receiving the money? So at that time, I had a manager who was basically handling all my financials and shit. It was pretty much like, we not signed, we don't have a label, you know what I'm saying? So what he convinced me to do or coerced me to do was start my own label, you know what I'm saying? So from that point on, I just been collecting money off of my Black Government Music Group, you know what I'm saying? Very cool. Now you're making money off the song, you're touring, you're out there. Is there anything special for you happening in between? Is there anything significant happening while you're touring and out there? Yeah, so I got a chance to actually meet Dr. Dre on some one-on-one shit. We had a show down at Legends. Had a
He
show
was out
down
at
at
Legends over
and
here?
he was down there.
Oh,
So
shit.
went to the Up and Smoke tour. And my show was actually the night after the last night of the Up and Smoke tour. And him, Snoop, and somebody else was up there at Legends. They was just sitting at the bar chilling, you know what I'm saying, and walked in and was like, oh shit, that's Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So me and my people, we kind of walked over there and introduced ourselves, and he was actually cool, kicking it with us and shit. He had a studio session in Oak Park that night and told niggas to come up there. We didn't go because we had other shit to do. But yeah, I wish I would have went. But just sitting there meeting with him and, you know, telling me how much I look like Corrupt, because back then I used to wear my hats to the back like Corrupt did, and I was a much skinnier dude back then, of course. So he was like, man, this nigga look like Corrupt, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shit like that.
That's cool as fuck,
it was cool
man.
as hell. Hell yeah.
That's a person that, man, like if you're gonna idolize any producer that's ever done it at the major scale, you gotta look at Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Man, I always wonder too, like because I'm a fan of Eminem and Dr. Dre, and I always like thought about how the music changed after Dr. Dre stopped like producing for Eminem, because I noticed like after Encore, like the music was completely different from Eminem's end. Like, and I realized like, well, Dr. Dre's not really making his beats no more, I don't think, or producing for him anymore. I remember a substantial shift, but it made me fuck with Dr. Dre even more. Like, damn, bro, you created his sound to some degree, like, right? Because you think about it, like, he had to have helped Eminem develop his style.
Hell yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? Like,
man, you can't be in no studio with Dr. Dre and not get no type of artist development.
Yeah.
Like, bro, name a motherfucker that had everybody waiting 20 years for an album that never came out.
He talking about Detox?
Yeah. Tell me one motherfucker. What other motherfucker you know can make you wait 20 years for an album that never dropped?
I'm still waiting on that shit.
That's what
man.
I'm saying,
I'm
bro.
sitting here like, damn. I don't think we're ever gonna see it, but I'm kind of over it now anyway. Kind of like,
yeah.
I think it was fun waiting for it, and I don't even want to think about it no more for real.
I think we got Detox in the Compton album. That's what I think. Me personally, I just felt like the Compton album was Detox.
They just changed the name basically.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That could be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you're moving forward here, and you know you're successful off your music, you have a hit song, you're touring, everything's going good for you. What's kind of the next move? What's kind of like the next big thing that strikes?
So, my brother ended up coming home from prison, and one of his best friends, or his best friend, his brother / best friend, is Michael Westbrook, ex-football player, wide receiver from Detroit, but he ended up playing for the Redskins. But if everybody not familiar with who Michael Westbrook is, he the motherfucker that shocked Michigan when he caught that Hail Mary when he played for Colorado that put us out the damn national championship. But he's from here. Michael Westbrook, I love you, you my brother, but fuck you for that. But anyway, so we ended up getting together, me, my brother, and Michael Westbrook, and we put a record label together called Inner Circle. And in that process of doing that, Mike has a good relationship with the dude named Reg from Jordan Brand. Reg is the dude that get everybody they deals, they shoe deals from Khaled to like Reggie. Reggie is that nigga out there. So he plugged us in with Midway Games, and I got a song on NBA Ballers. Cut a nice check for that motherfucker too. I add.
Love NBA Ballers.
Yeah, so my song was on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which song did you have, man?
Rags to Riches.
Oh my goodness, man. That just took me back, bro. That's so crazy.
Now, since everybody want to get on your show and talk about how they the first motherfuckers, I was really the first unsigned artist from Detroit to have a song on a major video game. Sold 2.5 million out the gate.
Man.
Yeah.
How do you see the feedback after you release a song on a video game like that?
That shit went crazy. It went crazy, bro. It was to the point where I couldn't handle it. It was just like, it was so much pressure because, like I said, I was still young. I was still, man, I was trying to really conform to the industry. And it was just a lot. It was a lot, bro.
Did it make you sit back and think and take a break? Or, like, how did you react?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. Because the rate I was going, bro, I was going to crash and burn. I was going to self-destruct. You know what I'm saying? So I really had to take a break and just really step back and analyze shit for what it is and not what I wanted it to be.
What part of it was making you have that kind of
The relationships, man, and the shit that people do. The politics that's involved. Like, even to this day, that shit still irks my soul, but I know how to dance around it a lot better now. You know what I'm saying? But back then, I run into a brick wall. It was like, fuck this shit. I'm ready to give up.
What's a brick wall like?
It's tough when you don't have the skin that you thought you had. It's tough because, you know, you got to have thick skin in this shit. And if your skin ain't thick, you won't survive. You'll get ate up.
Is it more of a fan perspective thing or audience, or is it people you're delegating within the scene?
Man, it's a behind the scenes thing. That's the worst part of it.
Was there pressure? Like, do people expect things a certain way and you couldn't?
That, and then it was just the fact that nobody's real. Everybody fake. This shit is phony as fuck, bro. This industry is a phony ass industry. It's only a few real motherfuckers left in this industry. Only a few. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say some of them don't even look like me. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like, the crazy shit is, bro, like I say, when you got motherfuckers like Royce, rest in peace to K. Slay, man. K. Slay was one of the realest motherfuckers I ever met. Within the industry, yeah, he one of the realest motherfuckers I ever met, bro.
I think when I look at, I've been involved in the scene for technically 10 years, but I don't like to count. I don't count the years that I didn't have a consciousness of it. Right. Because I was unconsciously in it, not knowing what the hell I was involved in until 2017, basically. Yeah. And from what I've gathered so far, I realize there's a market, there's a profit scheme involved in music now that I don't know it was that way in the early 90s or the 2000s era. I don't know if it was a profit scheme to the degree it is now, because being an artist is a profit scheme, shooting music videos is a profit scheme, doing interviews, doing award ceremonies, everything is like a profit scheme. And it's like, if everything is about money, how do you really make art now?
That's the minuscule part of it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? The art is the minuscule part.
Right.
Nobody cares about art no more.
It's the monetary.
It's monetary popularity. Art is this much. This is why you have so many subpar artists in the game.
But my question is this, right? This is the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell is listening to the music? Isn't it their fault? Isn't it their fault? Because listen, man, if there's girls out here like making crazy ass songs and just shaking their booties and all that and making songs about shaking the booty, and they're the ones getting millions of streams on TikTok.
Yes, sir.
Can we blame anybody besides the listeners? Or like, how does it work? It is a money scheme. Music industry has a lot of money schemes involved in it. But at the end of the day, who's propagating it really? Is it the kids?
I'm going to tell you like
who
this.
Is it?
I'm going to tell you like this. If you had the type of record execs that'll sit back and say, yo, I'm not putting no money behind that shit. Either do it this way or cut that shit out. And, you know, stop the bullshit and work on your craft, it'll be totally different.
But you can't, because now everybody has a voice, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Now it's social media.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? That's what kids is being raised off social media.
Fact.
You see what I'm saying? I had to take my son off the shit.
Okay.
Like, hey, man, no. You can't, no more TikTok, no nothing, because you get too free with your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'll be damned if I let social media raise my kids.
And just for the kids, man, trust me on this, social media is garbage.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm a heavy part. I'm a very involved in social media. Some days I'm like, God damn.
Fuck this shit. I know you.
My whole thing is like, I feel like it's limiting everybody, because when we were younger coming up in the game, you wanted to be a part of the entertainment industry. You were thinking about shooting for the stars. You were thinking about how can I get to Hollywood? How can I get to the majors? How can I be one of the biggest artists in the world? Now you can like literally just do the easiest thing in the world, which is like make a TikTok video, you rapping or doing something silly. And that makes you limited to social media, because if you're getting all your attention from there, a lot of people get content. Like, oh, screw all those dreams about Hollywood. Screw all the dreams about the entertainment industry and all that stuff like that. Now you just limited yourself to this screen right here, man. And I did that one at one point. I was like, I hate this. I need to break out.
But this is the reason why at 42 years old, this is the reason why I get told by a lot of young artists that it's time for me to stop rapping.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying? And the crazy shit is like, it's a young man's game right now. You know what I'm saying? As far as the excitement of it, the shock value of the industry. But you still got OGs that's creaming the shit out these young dudes. But you can't do it. You can't do it like that, thinking like that, because the listeners, it's the youngsters. It's the youngsters.
It's hard though, because at the same time, I grew up listening to the 90s and early 2000s, and I looked at Ice Cube as one of my favorite artists of all time. But one thing it was like a hard transition watching old Ice Cube and then new me. He dropped, remember that tape he dropped like, I think it was like 7-8 years ago. I forget what it's called. But
I know what you're talking about.
That one tape, and I was just like, I wanted to fuck with it so bad. I remember
it
I was
just
like,
wasn't him.
It was just like,
him,
damn.
bro.
And plus, you just made Are We There Yet? Are We Done Yet? And all that. And I still rock with Ice Cube to this day. But I was like, damn.
Yeah, man.
When you're thinking about the artists that started young and got to an older age, who do you think made the transition well? I mean, I know Eminem's number one on the boards right now and streams of all time, so he's one of the people that did it for sure. But who do you think is staying relevant?
Nas.
Nas is staying relevant?
What?
Really?
Cause you ain't hip. This motherfucker just dropped 4 albums within a year and a half time span.
I wasn't even.
He got with Hit Boy. He got with Hit Boy, and motherfuckers went crazy. Nah, here go the thing. Nas always gonna be relevant because Nas is lyrically the GOAT. Period. Hands down, it's my favorite MC. It is what it is. You can debate with your mama about that shit. I don't give a fuck. But Nas is always gonna be relevant because nobody has beat him. Nobody can take him out. And it's like, even though he's in his 50s now, the motherfucker's still lyrically relevant. Nobody can do what Nas do lyrically. Nobody. You give me one. The only motherfucker I pin up against Nas right now is Royce. That's the only person I pin up against Nas.
Now, when you're talking about the level of respect that you're giving it to, what regard is it a part of the music? Are you just saying song-wise, or like what are you saying as far as
skill?
Skill, okay.
Skill.
Okay.
See, that's the thing, right? The game that got so watered down and so saturated with popularity, skill is a lost art. You see what I'm saying? It's not too many with skill. This is why I fuck with the Cordays. I fuck with the Courtney Bells. I fuck with everybody that's keeping this shit lyrically, you know what I'm saying? Keeping it lyrical. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love what the youngsters is doing with their lane. It's evolution, bro. You cannot keep nothing the same forever. It'll be boring as fuck. So I love the energy from the Snap Dogs to fucking Tone Tones to all of the artists that's really bringing that energy now. I fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might not be a big fan of a lot of niggas' music, but nigga, Sada, shit, Peasy, I fuck with all of them because I love the energy they bring and I love what they doing as far as keeping themselves relevant. You see what I'm saying? They doing that shit.
But the craft, you feel like there's certain artists that are still, like obviously a Courtney Bell who's paying attention to the orchestration of music.
Right.
So he kind of separates himself in that lane. If you want to hear music that it's as close to the 90s and early 2000s and close to the soulful as possible, you probably would tap into his music more so.
But I gotta say, bro, it ain't no another Sada out here.
No cap.
It's not another Sada.
In the world, bro.
This motherfucker then found his niche and he drilling that motherfucker, bro.
Bro, I've been rocking with Sada since 2017. We have a great personal relationship. We talk all the time. And I only listened to like 5 of his songs when I first got into him. And now I'm literally listening to his music play after play. And I'm like, this dude is doing something like, I think he's just rapping in a way where it's like his rap is almost, his way of rapping is like the beat almost. Like it's like a whole different type of melody within the melody, which is crazy.
He living in the music,
yes.
Bro. And that's the shit to me. I love what he do because it's like you could tell he's living in the music. Bro, listen to the flow patterns and the way he ride beats. The one record he got with Big Sean. Mm-hmm. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the song.
Whatever the last one was.
Yes.
Went nuts on that bitch because the way he rolled that motherfucker, the way he was involved in the beat, that shit crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I can tell that he let the beat talk to him and he talked back.
One thing that's interesting about him that I'm gonna actually ask him soon is like, the song with Snoop Dogg, right? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of mixed reviews about that song because you're doing a song with Snoop Dogg. Obviously, you want to come out with your hottest verse and everything like that. And I was like, damn, dude, I feel like sometimes like so real with it that whatever he just did is what it's gonna be. You know how you said you guys spent 3-4 hours on one song type stuff? I don't know. I haven't been with him where I haven't seen, I don't know. I mean, personal experience, I haven't seen him stop and pay attention to a song for 3 to 4 hours. It's usually he runs through the song. But when you're working with somebody like Snoop Dogg, even on Snoop Dogg's end, I figured they would both have like really paid attention to it or something. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm speaking out of...
I just feel like it's all about the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, we get in the studio and we do a record. You gonna do something that's gonna bring the best out of me, and I'm gonna do something that's gonna bring the best out of you, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, I'm a pusher. I'm like Diddy and Dre mix, so I push motherfuckers in the studio like, no, that ain't it. Do it over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like recording with me, even my paying sessions, bro. My motherfuckers that come and pay, I could easily just sit back, punch them in. I'm like, nah, bro, you could do it better than that. Come on, come better. And that's the reason why my clientele grew, because they knew I cared about what they put out.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's where we go wrong, because it has to be. A lot of these motherfuckers go wrong because they got the wrong team or the wrong people behind them, not telling them like, nah, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? They going for whatever.
Yes.
With Sada, God damn it, man.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
With Sada, I feel like you say, he gonna be who he gonna be. He gonna do what he gonna do.
I totally agree with you. I feel like some people have a lot of yes men around them, and they might be too afraid to approach. I remember when Bizarre was on here, he was saying how he would record a song with Eminem, and then while they were doing the listening session, Eminem would tap him on the shoulder like, oh, you know, we took you out the verse, right? Like, we took you out the whole song. Yeah. And I think that shit's great. I think you really need to hold your friends accountable and the people in your group accountable.
I agree.
Let's get back to the timeline here, man. So, you know, you meet Dr. Dre. You know, you're probably feeling on top of the world, but then you come down to maybe an inner conflict where you have to step back from music for a little bit. Now, it was more of a person-to-person thing and dealing with the industry itself. You couldn't handle some of the aspects of the industry that were bothering you. If you want to touch on that more, you can. Otherwise, talk kind of about how you bounced back from that.
Well, the shit basically was sucking the fun out of it for me. The business part of it was. It wasn't fun no more. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I say, a lot of motherfuckers, it was so many fake motherfuckers, like, you just really, it drains you. It drains you when you dealing with that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I just got drained. And I stepped back for a minute. It wasn't too long, man, because there ain't shit worse than having studio equipment at your house and packed in the corner and that shit calling your name every time you walk past it.
Man.
So it was just like, shit. I started making beats in 1992, so I got a whole bunch of equipment, and it was just like packed up in the corner, bro. And every time I walked past that shit, it was like, Gov. I'm like, motherfuckers, man. Yeah. So I just jumped back into it. It was like one day I just decided to hook the shit back up and went crazy. But from that point, I knew what I had boundaries set. I knew what I was going to deal with and what I wasn't going to deal with after the fact.
How does that interfere with money?
It interfered with money because, so it's like this. Imagine coming across a plug, right? And a motherfucker dumping like maybe 5 or 6 bricks on you. And you got the clientele to run through them bricks, right? But then you got a nigga like me who will run into the plug. I might take a little bit longer getting him his money back because I done slow rolled this shit. You see what I'm saying? I done bust these bitches down to dimes and nicks, and I'm on the block or I'm in the hood with the shit. I'm not just going to drop off and pick up. You see what I'm saying? So it's a big difference between me and the nigga that's getting rid of the bricks in that 1 hour. I'm that nigga that's gonna take about a week or two to do what I need to do, and that's the difference. So money wise, is I'm not gonna say it's fucked up for me because I ain't starving, I ain't wanting for nothing, but I just refuse to be. I refuse to go against the grain for some money, bro, or fame.
And I think it's very important, and I know it's very difficult for artists to say what you just said, which is basically, you stuck to your guns. Yeah. You stuck to who you were. Yeah. You wouldn't let money let you make decisions that you wouldn't genuinely make. And I put myself in a position where I saved enough money where I don't got that much money, bro, but I saved enough money for right now where I can do the right thing and do what's necessary and do what I'm passionate about. So I'm not going to do the bag chasing thing that a lot of people are doing, which is make as much money as possible while you're hot, which waters you down and which makes your legacy not everlasting.
No longevity.
Yeah, no longevity.
Bro, I swear, it's so much stuff that I could talk about in my history, but the good thing about it is I could say every other month I get a check off of my music.
So you got to chill. You got to take a break, chill, look at everything from a new eye, fresh eye, come back into the game. What's the progress after that? What's the next big strike for you?
Shit, I mean, the big strike was just going back out to L.A. and meeting the people that I met out there that I worked with, from shit, DJ Quick to just meeting Warren G, opening up for him at shows and just getting game from him.
What was Warren G like, man?
Man, Warren G's a cool motherfucker.
He sounds like
bro,
it.
He's so laid back. He one of the motherfuckers, dog. He's so comfortable in life. He be laughing at shit that ain't even funny. I look at that motherfucker. He just busts out laughing about shit that if you just look at his Instagram, bro, and just peep his videos and shit, you can see how relaxed and how I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? And that's Warren G, bro. He one of the coolest, most humble, down-to-earth motherfuckers ever, bro.
His music was like he was just a straight player, G, and I know that's not even a such thing as being a player G, but that's how I look at it. Like,
it's a such thing.
When Regulate dropped, man, I was just sitting there like, this is the coolest, smoothest. That's probably still the coolest, smoothest track in history to me.
Yeah,
like just chilling vibes, talking about hardcore shit. If you really listen to what's going down in it, but you don't even think about it because it's just so cool.
Yeah, nah, G Child, he the coolest motherfucker I know, bro. Yeah. Like he really laid back. Like I say, he don't get involved in no bullshit. He don't want to hear about it. He don't want to talk about nobody business. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like he really be on some him shit.
What was the relationship like with him?
I don't have like a major relationship with him, but just meeting him the couple times that I have, you can pretty much gauge a person after you done sat down, kicked it with him, or had a chance to meet him and chop it up. Okay. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with me and Nip. Like, I ran into Nip so many times in so many places, and one thing about Nip, he never forgot my face. Yeah. Ever. We could be wherever. He never forgot my face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, to go up in his store and actually get a chance to chop it up with him in his store, it was like a huge thing for me because even though he was younger than me, I learned so much from him and just his mind state and his business shit. It was crazy.
Is he the type of person that's just totally in the zone? Like, what kind of atmosphere does he bring when you...
Who, Nip?
Yeah, when you're talking about Nipsey Hussle.
Nip was just one of them. He was on guard at all times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Neighborhood Crip 6-0. Like, he on deck at all times, but at the same time, like, probably 5 or 10 minutes into a conversation, he could kind of ease up and sense that, okay, no, this ain't no enemy. This ain't somebody I got to worry about. Let me loosen up a little bit.
I saw an interview with him one time, and he was literally, like, just telling the interview lady, like, watch how you approach, like, and I kind of understood it when I hang around my rapper friends and stuff. I'm like, oh, I know why you're doing that now. Yeah. Like at first I'm like, you're rude for that. But now I watch it and I'm like, oh, I see why you're so hesitant to be around people. Yeah. Did you ever feel that way when you were coming up? Did you ever feel like you needed to watch your back?
I did, because I had a lot of hate coming my way, bro.
Really?
It was a lot of hate coming my way because, see, the thing is, a lot of people that I used to work with, they wanted to keep me up under their thumb. They didn't want me to go no further than them. They was cool with me doing good. As long as I wasn't doing better than them, they was cool with that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But like once I started doing better than them, it just became a whole barrage of hate. And I was always on guard. You know what I'm saying? I was not paranoid, but I was cautious.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit got me where I am, being cautious.
So basically, you didn't do any ass kissing at a certain point.
You realize never will.
You realize like you're not gonna go that path. You're gonna do everything in an organic manner. Now, after, you meet Warren G and stuff like that. How does your career progress at that point?
Well, I got a bunch of deals on the table.
Okay.
I had a deal with Capitol Records on the table. Inner Circle, we actually had a label deal on the flow with Warner Brothers.
Wow.
We turned it down though. I had a gang of deals, man. Deals was just coming. And then I had this one big situation hit me with McDonald's. They had a menu they was working on called the After Party. And it was supposed to be like a real late night menu, but they was doing a real big campaign for it. So they had like a whole bunch of different artists, all different genres, compiled on one mixtape called the After Party. And at that time, I was a big ambassador for Al Wassam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, Al Wassam, shout out to Al Wassam, Bossum, what up though? I was the face of Al Wassam at one point.
No fucking way.
You feel me? Yeah, hell yeah. You can check it. It's all facts.
That's so cool.
But had billboards up, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the time I did a record called Al Wassam, talking about being fly to the motherfucker in my Al Wassam. And they pressed up like 1 million copies of it, and that shit got out. And needless to say, some of the sales boosted.
Man.
At Al Wassam. You know what I'm saying?
Do you got 2 minutes for me to come back? I gotta use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Cool.
Honestly, bro, the one that stood out to me the most was Pinky the Porn Star.
Yeah. It's fire.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was very interesting, and it was something that it was fun. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want nobody to take this shit the wrong way. That's like my sister, so it wasn't no bullshit going on, nothing like that. But she wanted to do music, bro. She was real adamant about doing music. And I had a cousin that just passed away not too long ago, but he plugged the situation in while I ended up meeting her and my bro Jeremy and shit.
How long ago was this? What time frame?
Shit, I want to say maybe 08, 07, 08.
Now listen, I told you before we got back on, man.
Aw,
I
shit.
gotta tell you, and this is the flat out truth, bro. I have like a folder on my phone. All right, I only watch women. I only watch women with women on my phone just because like I just love the sensualness of it. She's like 3 of those videos.
Oh wow.
No lie involved.
I get this shit all the time. Yeah.
She's man. Listen, man. Her personality is what really does it for me. But she knows what she's doing. Put it that way.
Hey, listen, bro. Outside of that, she dope ass people.
All right, my fault. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, outside of that, she dope. That ain't to take nothing away from what she do. Like that's her thing. Ain't no judgment here. You
as
feel
a person,
what I'm saying? As a person though,
yeah,
she dope as fuck, and probably like one of the best sisters that I could call my sister. You know what I'm saying? Like she's more of a sister to me than some of my real sisters.
Wow.
So like we built a dog ass relationship. Just over the years and doing music together. I mean, we did a lot of work. She used to work her ass off. Like to never have rapped before. I love those days.
Man, that's cool as hell. Walk us through. Continue with some people that you met and that you got to network with.
Shit, Richie Rich. That's another one, man. That's another solid. Man, Richie Rich probably another one of the realest people I done met. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so cool, down to earth, and he just game orientated. All he do is kick game. Like, regular conversations, you're going to leave with something. You know what I'm saying? We could be sitting up, kicking it, chopping it up about German chocolate cake, and it's going to be some game involved. You know what I'm saying? But, nah, Richie Rich, definitely one of them dope people.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Shit. So, we got... We got Pinky out the way. We got Ward G, Nip, Richie Rich.
How was your career progressing after the meeting Warren G and meeting everybody like that? And what era are we talking? What years are we really talking about?
So, the Warren G came. I want to say like 04, 05 or something.
Oh, okay,
like
so
that.
we're still far back. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But the Pinky shit, I kind of fast forward a little bit. That was a little bit after. You know what I'm saying?
What was your career like in between those times?
It was cool. I mean, it wasn't what I wanted it to be here. But in LA, it was cracking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a producer as well. So outside of being an artist, I make beats. So I had a lot of people buying beats from me on the West Coast. And just so, I mean, I was making money. It was like, shit, I didn't really care too much about being popular or being known here because when I'm doing beats, put it like this, bro. I could do a show here, and even to this day, I could do a show here and fight to get 10 people there. I go out there, I did a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go. This was my first show I ever did in LA. That motherfucking line was wrapped around the corner. So it to me, I just feel like, I spent a lot more time on the West Coast as far as like building my career opposed to being here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the reason why, like, it might take you a minute to get your research or ask a few people about my name and who I am or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I didn't put no energy. I cut all my energy off in Detroit. I cut the water off in Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
There's like a certain amount of, engagement you can get from any type of demographic or fan base or whatever city you're in. And if they're just not rocking with you, there's always another place that will be rocking with you. If you're producing quality content, even me personally, because I looked at my analytics, like last year, I think I did over on Instagram alone, I had like 10 million people reach my account. That means a lot of people see me and just didn't give a damn, right? Well, there's no problem with that, right? But, okay, what did that tell me? A lot of you already, I might be tapped out a little bit over here to some degree. There might not be more I can do to get more of a following because you already seen me. So now I'm looking at it from like that angle, like maybe I need to branch out into different cities and see.
Yeah, I will say that because at the end of the day, you got to look at like, and I don't like bringing up other people's names and shit because I fuck with this show. This is it. I fuck with this. But like when you look at No Jumper, for instance, we use them. That's all he did. All Adam did was branch out. You know what I'm saying? He dealt with a lot of different artists from a lot of different places. He never stayed complacent in one place. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, bro, the platform that you have is so fucking dope. Anybody will want to be a part of it. I mean, the conversations alone just be enough to make a motherfucker say, you know what, I want to get on that shit.
And I know I appreciate the hell out of that. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of if 10 million people have already seen you, or, cumulative views, 10 million, whatever, have checked out your page and you're still at the same marker that you were like last year pretty much, it kind of tells me that a lot of people in Detroit saw me and we're just like, no matter what you do, I'm just not a fan of what you're doing. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So it's like that's where I feel tapped out, kind of where like,
no, just up the content.
Just do what do you mean?
Just up the content. Just do something different. Do something different from what just sitting on the couch.
I've been doing a lot of different things.
I get it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you got to be outlandish or saying you got to go crazy and do some weird shit. Just do something ain't nobody else doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I honestly feel like you can do it because, I mean, shit, bro, I'm here. I don't do this shit for everybody. I wanted to come. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you reached out or nothing. I wanted to be here.
I appreciate
so
that.
At the end of the day, like, you know, when you get somebody like me, and trust me, I'm one hard motherfucker to get access to as far as being on podcasts and shows and shit. I felt the need to come here because, for one, I know you got the younger generation. They fuck with you heavy. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes we got to bridge the gap, man. Everybody ain't against the youngsters. All the OGs ain't against. You might run across some OGs and be like, fuck them little niggas. And come on, little niggas, let's rock. I'll fuck with y'all. And on top of that, I'm relevant enough to still get on the track with y'all and probably up y'all. You know what I'm saying? So however it go. But I leave my door open for the youngsters because I feel like, you can't shut LeBron James out if you Michael Jordan. You can't shut Michael Jordan out if you Magic Johnson. You get what I'm saying? Like it'd be wrong for you to do shit like that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like me being one of the OGs or considered one of the OGs, because I still feel young than a motherfucker, but for me to shut anybody out that's in the generation after me would be fucked up on my behalf. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
I
yeah,
totally
I love these youngsters, man. I want to do so many records with so many young dudes. It's just they didn't got their shit off. They popular, but their egos is up here. So it's hard to even reach them niggas and for them to even know who I am. You get what I'm saying? And
that's kind of why I'm doing the OG series right now. This January, I'm completely focusing on the OGs, the people that helped build the roadmap for what music is today in Detroit and what the entertainment scene is in Detroit. So that's why it's awesome having people like you on to kind of spread the awareness and spread the history and especially your accomplishments and what you've been a part of. Let's walk through a little bit more here, man. Let's talk about the next strike. We're talking about obviously everybody goes through a break. You came back, met Warren G, met all these great people. You're working with Pinky. Now what happens after that? What's kind of like the next big move?
I came home and I dropped a single called what the fuck was the name of that song? Money Talk. Dropped a single called Money Talk, and it kind of stirred up a little controversy between me and the homies, the Doughboyz Cashout. Well, not really stirred up no controversy between us, but more so the people that was behind the video, because I shot a video with at that time it was TMB Films.
TMB shot a lot of Doughboyz Cashout films. Music videos.
Yeah. So but at the time, right, they shot my video and Joseph McFashion had shot their video. So we kind of used the same, like if I showed you these videos, you'll be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? They so similar because the same scenes, the same background sceneries, locations, should I say, same car, same kind of car, nighttime, all that shit. It just looked like the same video, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of got pissed off about that, but I got pissed off at the wrong people. This is not something they did. They had somebody direct it and put it together. You see what I'm saying? So if anything, I should have been pissed off more so with the production. The production people, opposed to being pissed off at them.
What music did they take, like Good Ass Day or something like that?
No, it was Get Money, Stay Humble, or something. Something it had to do with something about being humble in it.
And so they shoot a music video, and it looks like your music video.
Exactly like it.
Okay, so but it's the production team behind it that's shooting it.
Yeah.
So TMB is shooting it a certain way.
Yeah.
And Joseph McFashion is shooting it a certain way, but they are identical.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to be mad at the artist, but the production.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of, cause I'm already feeling like this, right? I'm already feeling like the little guy. You get what I'm saying? Because my time and they time is two different eras. You get what I'm saying? But their popularity is here. So I'm feeling like, well, if y'all niggas is already on, why would y'all want to take from the little nigga? Let the little nigga come up a little bit and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I really already ain't got that many years left in this shit. Let me have what I got. But I went about it the wrong way, and you know what I'm saying. Even to this day, like I praise Payroll and Kid and them for what they did and what they continue to do. You know what I'm saying.
When you're in LA, when did you come back to Detroit to start kind of getting in rotation around here again?
2013? What year was you born? 2014? Yeah, 2014.
What did you know from when you're in LA? What were you hearing about Detroit while you were in LA?
Shit. It's really what Detroit was hearing about me while I was in LA. Because I was really like setting up plays for a lot of Detroit people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably don't even know, but I had an interview with a DJ from Oakland, from one of their radio stations. I forgot the name of the radio station that's out there. But I had an interview and they asked me like who's on the come up from Detroit and who they should be looking for. And I mentioned Doughboyz Cashout. I mentioned Pablo Skywalking. I mentioned a bunch of Detroit artists that was actually coming up in the city that was making noise for real. And they went and did their research. You know what I'm saying? And then from that point on, I just seen a lot of California, Detroit connections going on and shit. I'm not saying that I'm the first nigga to do none of that. I'm not doing that. But I know I had some type of, something. I had a hand in this shit because when they asked me questions about Detroit, I always gave it up to whoever was coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You were basically shouting out Detroit, and you somehow how are you staying aware of what was happening in Detroit?
Well, I mean, shit, you know it's home, so you got to stay tapped in. I mean, I got kids too, so I know what they listening to.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? But what
was your first time hearing Doughboyz Cashout?
Shit, the first time I heard Doughboyz Cashout, they had a party. I went to the party, but I dog hoes. They played our dog hoes, and I fell in love with them niggas then. Cause when I heard that shit, I was thinking I was a pimp too. So I was, oh yeah, these niggas is it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was the first time I heard they shit. You know what I'm saying? I went to a party, and that was it.
And that caught your ears?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And watching them progress, what did you see from your perspective, already being a part of the industry and seeing how...
Man, I saw a lot of growth in them dudes musically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell they was just having fun with the shit. They just doing it just to do it. But then once they started taking it serious, you heard the growth in their shit. And this was before even getting signed to Jeezy. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could tell they was growing. But like, Payroll, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. If I had to bet the bank on Payroll, I would. You know what I'm saying? Because he can go anywhere and do numbers. Being from Detroit, he can go anywhere and do numbers.
What do you think it is that makes artists pop off from Detroit to the majorest of scales versus them kind of being like just a figure in Detroit? Like, you're relevant highly in Detroit and a few other states, but you haven't went mainstream yet. Like, to the point where, like, Big Sean status or Royce status or something like that. Yeah. What do you think is separating these guys who obviously are doing Payroll Giovanni's and the PZTs and like they're doing it at a very high level, but to break it at the Big Sean level or even the T Grizzly level, what do you think is like the separating factor?
I think the mentality. Because, the dudes you just named as far as like PZ and Payroll, them niggas is bosses.
Yeah.
So to be signed to anybody, it would be ridiculous when I can do all this shit on my own and have my own following, my own fan base. Like, Payroll got a cult following. Motherfuckers in LA and Oakland and San Diego and all that, they fuck with Payroll. Like, he one of the first people, him and Skilla Baby. You know what I'm saying? They bring up Skilla Baby. I got a homie from the set out there, that's all he talk about is Skilla Baby.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, just being independent is they mindset. Sean and them, they got they break because they was at the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure now being a part of the industry, Big Sean going through what he went through with good music, he would love to be independent and do it that way now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of dudes that's on that want to be independent right now, I guarantee you.
When you were here and you're trying to build your name more so in Detroit now, you already did your thing in LA. You're getting in this little mix up with the, music videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
How did your career progress from that point?
So from that point, bro, I was pushing myself to be a producer, an artist, and just doing I think I was doing the right shit. I was building the right relationships, having the right resources, only calling out the big dogs when I needed to. But it kind of put me on a level to where the respect is higher now. You know what I'm saying? Might not have more money than this dude or that dude, but the respect is there because they know Gov is not finna just be a part of nobody clique. He ain't finna kiss no ass. He ain't finna do this. He gonna stick to what he know, and he gonna move how he move. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with the whole jury shit, right? I use this as an example. You will have dudes that want to be popping so hard and be seen so much that they'll go buy some fake shit. You know what I'm saying? And because they might have a name, people might not even think twice. Like, oh yeah, it's him, so it's real, right? It's a lot of these motherfuckers wearing fake shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing, bro. I'm not the one to fake it till I make it. I'm gonna just do what I gotta do, no matter how long it take. You know, I'm gonna get there.
I just want to say on record that my chain is real, and it was given to me by my sugar mama. Shout out to you, baby girl. But
hey, don't say that too much, man. Cash Doll might be listening. She might not like you no more after that. But
nah. Yeah, man. You're right though. Like, I had a really good talk with somebody one time. There was a point where I was doing music reviews.
Yeah.
And I was, tearing people up because I felt like it was my whole purpose when I was doing music reviews is like, if you shouldn't be rapping, let's get you out of here. Let's redirect your path. Yeah. And then also, if you need to sharpen up your rapping, I'm there for you. And also, if you're making good music, I'm gonna get you exposure you need.
Right. For
all
sure.
three categories, you're getting exposure though.
Right.
But I remember somebody called. I heard like a couple of major rappers in Detroit hated me. Like they hated my guts for doing it. Like two major rappers. I won't say their names because, anyway, they hated me. And one of them relayed a message to me. He said, the reason that we're so upset with you is because some of these people that are making music, it's their only way out. Like, you couldn't make it basketball, they couldn't make it through school, whatever the hell. Their only way out is music. And so you're crushing that dream, and you don't have the right to crush anybody's dream or tell somebody to stop when that's the only way they got out. Because if you think about Detroit, or if you think about hoods, or if you think about ghettos, or you think about trenches and all that stuff, you're thinking about people who are starving in any type of way to find a way out of that situation.
Hey, bro, I'm going to give you another perspective to look at it, too. Because for me, I'm going to tell you what this music shit is.
Yes.
It's therapy.
Yes.
You feel me? So a lot of people might just be so mentally fucked up in this music shit. It's the only thing they got. No, they might not be the dopest at it, but this might be the only thing that's keeping them sane and keeping them from going to jump off a bridge or whatever the fuck. You see what I'm saying?
Real talk.
Like for me, bro, I've been diagnosed with severe PTSD and clinical depression.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And this just comes from my past, like all the traumas and shit. But I've since then been in therapy. I've came a long way. All kind of shit. The only thing that pretty much fucked me up recently was a breakup I had, but I'm over that shit too. But at the end of the day, bro, I know what it does for me mentally when I'm in the studio.
Right.
And I'm able to get certain shit off my chest. Because there's a lot of shit that I talk about in songs that I probably forget to talk about in conversation.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But that might be people's only way out. And I'm never the nigga to call somebody music trash. I never do that shit. I never call an artist trash. If anything, I say, hey, keep working, do what you got to do, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too critical on certain artists because, like I said, I just never know what a person's circumstances are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to treat everybody the way I would like to be treated. You know what I'm saying?
I had a good radar for it, though. My radar was this. If I knew it was coming from your heart, I wouldn't dog you. But if I knew you were doing it just to make money and get rich, then I would get upset because I'm like, it'd be a lot of people where it's like, man, they take this seriously. That's one thing you said earlier, how artists were in the studio and they were really, practicing the craft and developing a song and making it happen versus today's style. Let's walk through you're making a name for yourself, re-entering into the scene. Doughboyz Cashout's popping off, Team Eastside's popping off, and everything like that. What are you witnessing in these times? Like, who's helping develop the scene at this time?
This is when I'm starting to see a lot of politics start getting involved, but then I'm starting to see the emergence of brothers like R.J. Lamont, DJ Liquid, rest in peace, DJ BJ, a lot of the dudes that's in that class. I started seeing them do this. And then once radio opened up to where, DJ BJ could be on the radio now, or we could get RJ Lamont to come in and DJ, what holiday was it? I think it was Labor Day or some shit like that, where he was on air DJing. That's when I started seeing a lot of evolution within the hip-hop community in Detroit. But it was for the younger generation. The older generation kind of got phased out because the music that we talking that real shit, or we talking lyrical shit, and nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear a banging ass beat, a catchy ass hook, and some ignorant shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started seeing a change, and that's when I started slowly pulling back and going more west with my shit.
Right? Do you feel like the West kind of still held on to that type of aura that the 90s and 2000s had?
I'm gonna tell you about that.
Yeah.
What I love about the West Coast, period, it don't matter where you go, from Phoenix to LA to the Bay, Vegas, one thing for sure, two things for certain. They love everything. They love all of the young nigga music. They love the OG music. Jay Dilla was a god in LA. They got Jay Dilla Day out there, and it be thousands and thousands of motherfuckers out there, and Jay Dilla from Detroit. You feel me? So it's like, it just go to show you, then on top of that, to be real with you, I ain't gonna cap, the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans love hip-hop out there. They fuck with it more than the niggas do. That's weird to me. But at the same time, I don't complain. Y'all fuck with my shit, cool. I keep fucking with it. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Streaming, all my streaming come from the West Coast. All my album purchases, merch purchases, all that shit come from the West Coast.
You know, when I was doing music reviews, I do remember West Coast music being sent in. It was crazy because I remember what happened. There was a West Coast artist from Oakland, and he sent his music in. And I was like, man, what the fuck is this? And then it was crazy because I went to look at his profile, and he was his profile was banging. Yeah. Like, the support was crazy, and I was like, oh, I was like, you guys do music so different. Like, it doesn't even register in my head that you're doing something that just sounds right to some other people. Yeah. I remember when like High C came out. Remember High C?
High C,
yeah, man. High C came out. He's like, he came out with that song about curly hair. Yeah. It's like, all the girls just love me, but my Jerry curl greasy. Yeah. Like, that's the type of vibes I was getting back, and I was like, oh my God, they're still happening out there. It's almost like, man. It almost felt like the West Coast was still in the 90s to some degree.
That's why DJ Quick can still sell out a show. Warren G can still sell out a show. All them OGs can still sell out shows because they get respected. Man. The OGs are so respected in LA and just on the West Coast, period, bro. It makes us look like we need to step our game up a lot.
You think?
I know it does. Cause like I said, bro, I got to taste the best. I got the best of both worlds. You feel me? Like I witnessed this shit with my own eyes. How much respected, bro. You cannot talk bad about none of the OGs out there. You will fuck around and liable to get your ass whooped out there talking bad on one of the OGs. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was the most notable moment for you when you're making your comeback and trying to bring a rise back in Detroit?
The fact that I was able to do a remix to that single that I dropped, the Money Talk single. I did a remix with me, Stretch Money, K Deezy, Sino, and Tone Tone. To me, I felt like it was a great moment for me because they didn't hesitate. When I asked them, they was like, let's do it.
Are we doing a card switch, Nick? You still got time? Back on, and now we're continuing talking about, well, you have you got that track that comes out.
So now I got Stretch Money, K Deezy, Tone Tone, and Sino. You know what I'm saying? And these was like, some of them I worked with before, some of them I haven't, but they was buzzing, they was doing their thing. And for them to be like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it. Like, no hesitation. Yeah. That shit had me on cloud nine because, I just felt like I could have reached out to anybody, you know what I'm saying? And I would have got a different response. But them niggas, they was on it. ASAP, like, sent them the beat. Versus was back. Went to the studio with K Deezy when he recorded his. You know what I'm saying? It was just, man, that to me, I just felt like in Detroit, that was one of the highlights of my career from Detroit. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Was there money here when you were working here and trying to rebuild your name, or was it more of just like, okay, I got to build myself up again?
It was money here. A lot of shit I'm not going to speak on from cases and all that old shit, but it was definitely money here. But the thing was, nobody was putting their money in the right places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like guerrilla marketing was the way. I always wanted to be the motherfucker that had to get fined by the city because I got hella posters on every intersection. That was my mentality. Nobody followed that path. Everybody was just doing whatever was easy.
Well, the digital era had to have been occurring at the same time.
It was coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was easier.
Yeah. So it was more of a lazier approach.
I wonder what it was like to start posting on Facebook and Instagram, like, yo, pull up to my show, versus like before flyers and radio.
Shit, it was cool when cause shit, you gotta think about Black Planet, shit like that. MySpace worked for me hella big. I ain't gonna cap, bro, cause it was the only place where you could load your music up, people could actually hear your shit, and then you could post videos or concerts or whatever, and motherfuckers will show up off that,
So
just
crazy.
off what they see on your MySpace page.
So you were hip to like the social media stuff pretty early on.
Yeah, hell yeah, I ain't had no choice, cause the thing was, you know, we had to have AOL, and then the chat shit, the messenger shit was cracking.
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yes, that shit was cracking. So it was like,
you guys were using it to make money. Like, you guys were using it to promote
man, we was
yourself.
using it to make money, get
Man,
pussy.
That's all I was doing.
We was on that motherfucker on some real shit. We was on that motherfucker doing whatever, getting whatever benefits we can get off that shit, and it was a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap, cause like, shit, man, think about it, bro. It ain't shit, but
Wow.
back then that wasn't shit, but now it's text messaging on your phone now. You see what I'm saying?
I just remember from AOL Instant Messenger, that's how I got my first date ever.
See what I'm saying?
My first date ever was a girl named Ashley. She went to school with me, and I messaged her, and I said, "You want to go see Dumb and Dumber 2?" And she said, "Yeah." I go, and she brought her cousin with her, who was a guy, and another girl. And I said, and I don't know why I did this to this day. It was her cousin, which was a male, her and her friend. I said,
on the outside of the cousin. Oh,
because I was nervous, son. I was like, I don't want to act too close to her type shit. And I'm like, man, you were supposed to. But man.
Hey, but think about it. Back then, AOL Messenger, right? They had groups.
Yeah.
And each one of them had different subjects. So whichever one was the one you felt like you can go in and make something happen, that's where you was at.
Yeah.
And when it came to music, they had a group for music. When it had to...
I never thought about that.
But when it came to the girls and shit, they had it was like, oh, I'm about to pop in here and see what's cracking.
No, you were advanced with this. I wasn't at that level. At my level, I was just like talking to girls and like that's all I would do.
Oh yeah, I was on it. I was on it.
That's fire.
I ain't had no choice. But like I said, man, and it helped out too a lot when it came to me doing shows and shit. Because I remember the first show that I did that was actually promoted by Al Sam.
Yeah.
We brought a crowd to that motherfucker.
Al Sam's name is mentioned on here all the time. One of the greatest fashion producers in Detroit.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about that. How did that come together?
So I went in there. I had a show, and I went in there. Well, actually, I'm gonna take it back because this was when I first got involved with Al Sam. I just graduated from Southwestern High School, and I graduated in '97. But everybody used to come to school wearing these Guess raw denim outfits, and I couldn't find the motherfuckers nowhere. So they put me up on the first store was BBW, which was his brother's store on Verner, down the street from where the original store is.
Yeah.
Or was. So I went in there. I'm in the streets at this time. I'm making a lot of money, whatever. And I went in there, got an outfit. He showed me some love on it. It was real cool, bossum. And I just kept fucking with him. So one day I said, you know what, fuck this. I'm about to go in here, man. I'm just going to drop a whole bunch of cheese down and just grab some shit and go. And I remember when I came in there, I dropped the money on the counter in the bag, gave it to him. And he was like, bro, what's this? I'm like, man, I'm about to just grab something. I'm up out of here. But that's just for the future if I come in here. Because that's what my mentality was. I thought I was on, bro. I don't know what it was. I thought I was the richest motherfucker on the planet. But went in there, dropped that cheese off to him. And from that point on, it was just love. So once he started doing his own line, I started becoming more engaged and more involved with what they was doing. And I was probably I was the first motherfucker in the city to wear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it started out with some T-shirts with Al Sam embroidered, the logo. So I started rocking that shit. Then when he got to the jackets, I went and did a show that was a masterpiece show out in NY. And I had the first white, it was a pearl white and red Al Sam jacket, leather, with the Detroit up under the collar. I was the first person to have that. So I was really like his first you know what I'm saying, real album
you know how
advocate,
it goes,
bro.
man. We get, man,
Yeah.
what I don't know the history of like, is he still like around, like making?
He's still around.
Like I'm
Hell
saying,
yeah.
like in the business, like he's
Yeah,
still
he's
like
still doing his shit.
pushing
like,
it. You still
he's-
communicate with him?
Yeah, oh yeah, come on, bro. Every day I talk shit. If I ain't going there, he's really interested in trying to make my son an album sign model right now.
Man, his legacy is crazy with
Yeah,
it.
it
I mean,
is.
when you're a fashion icon and or you know you're creating fashion senses in a city, that's incredible, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever have a fit that was like? Did he ever give you a fit? Did he ever just say take this one?
Bro, I used to go to shows and they used to pull up with boxes of shit.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
So you're just getting free all the time.
Oh man,
People
I mean,
how much does it fit right now? Do you think?
shit. Right now he got these good jogging suits over there for like $250.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But they
Chilling.
dope as fuck though. They fit good. Everything just, I love the fit of everything. It's from the jackets down to the shit just make you look like you got a couple dollars. Even if you broke, you just look like you got some money when you wear that shit.
Yeah, man. What's the next pivoting point after that? Talk about how you kept facilitating in the city.
So really, man, I just kind of opened my doors up to working with different artists. You know what I'm saying? And just, I really was just opening the studio up, man, and just letting them come in and get their shit off. You know what I'm saying? And just helping them. Like I said, I'm involved with the whole recording process. I really hate the whole punching and shit. I do, because I never done it. But like, it's a job. You know what I'm saying? And I want you young motherfuckers to understand something. When you got an engineer and he's punching your ass in every bar, that's work. You need to pay him a little bit more tipping. You know what I'm saying? Because that's actually work. Because when I go to the studio and record, the motherfucker only got to hit the button one time and let me go. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But start taking care of your engineers, y'all. Don't just go to the motherfucking studio and say, all right, thanks, and don't tip him, because that's a lot of work right there. They have to keep punching you in, go back, punch you in, go back, punch. That's a lot of work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're getting in the studio, you're working. So now we're talking about kind of the modern
Yeah.
side of hip hop right now in Detroit. Who are
But
you
hold
working?
on.
Oh yeah.
I left out the track with Styles P
Okay.
from the Locks. So Floss a lot.
Lost a lot, yeah.
The plug. I don't give a fuck what you say. He the fucking plug. He can't be beat at that shit.
Okay.
Had an album called Supply and Demand back in the day, a YBI album called Supply and Demand. He asked me for some beats. I sent him some beats. He paid me for the beats. I didn't hear none of the product until it was done. Get the shit back. I open the CD, I pop it in, listen to the first couple songs, and get to the one that I produced, because I did like 2 on that album, I want to say. I get to the first one, I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I look, it shit say Royce the 5'9", Young Product, and Styles P. I said, Styles P? This nigga stole a nigga name or something? I'm thinking it's a nigga from Detroit at the time. I'm not knowing it's really Styles P of the Locks. You can pull up a gun or pull up a chair. I'm the gangster and the gentleman. I pull off your... I said, this motherfucker got Styles P from the Locks on my beat. God damn it. So, you know, it was exciting for me because I always wanted to work with DMX, the Locks, and all them, man, and finally had a chance to say, I got a record with Styles P on my shit.
Legendary.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that shit was dope, bro. That shit really turned the corner for me. You know what I'm saying? And it started making people reach out to me from other cities and states for production and all that shit. So really, bro, it was a time where I wasn't even rapping. I was just making beats. I just stopped rapping for a minute and just kept making beats because kept getting inquiries and people just wanting to buy beats.
Well, let's talk about some people that were jumping on those beats.
Shit, I mean, a lot of these dudes was independent artists from out of state. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, shit. If you want to talk about it, we can go with AZ from, you know, Nas and AZ, NY. Shit, man, songs with Ray J. Shit, man. I mean, the list goes on. It's so many people. You know what I'm saying? That's how I ended up meeting Wack on a whole nother situation, but it had something to do with Ray J because he had just started managing Ray J at that moment.
Talk about your relationship with Wack.
It wasn't good at first. It was ugly as hell because how we met. So one of the homegirls from here, she was throwing herself a birthday party. She wanted to book Ray J. She knew I had a relationship with Ray J because me and Ray J did a movie called Envy back in like 2001. And it was me, Ray J, AZ, Lisa Ray, Chico DeBarge, Maia Campbell, a gang of some listers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And she knew that I had a relationship with Ray J. So I reached out to Ray. Ray like, hey, just hit my manager. I'm kind of busy, so just hit my manager, whatever. I say, okay, cool. So he was like, my nigga name is Wack. I say, all right, bet. So I know Wack. I'm calling Wack. So I call Wack. I say, yeah, man, hey, I'ma plug you in with this chick. She trying to book a show, whatever, and she want Ray J to come. So he like, all right, bet, put it in motion. So I throw it in motion and shit. She called me like, I don't know who you had me call, but some dude named Cash Jones got on the phone and said he need this X amount of dollars or whatever. And I thought I was dealing with Wack. I don't know who Cash Jones. I'm like, shit, I don't know who the fuck Cash Jones is either. So don't send no money until I get to the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm reaching out. I'm calling. Ain't nobody picking up. So finally I get a phone call from Wack. And this nigga get on the phone, motherfucker, such and such, don't be in my business. You fucking up my money and blah. I say, hold on, cuz. What the fuck is you talking about and who is you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not talking to me like this. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, I'm talking on Pyru. I say, well, nigga, on Crip, what we on? You know what I'm saying? We going back and forth. It's one of them situations. You feel me? So we get to the bottom of the argument and shit. Both of us hoarse. We done lost our voice from yelling and screaming at each other on the phone. He like, nigga, some nigga, Cash Jones is my name. I said, oh shit, you Cash Jones.
Yeah.
Nigga, my bad. I thought we were supposed to be dealing with Wack. Nigga, I am Wack. I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I done fucked up, you know what I'm saying, by telling her to hold off sending money, not knowing that Cash Jones, this nigga Wack is Cash Jones. I'm just knowing who Wack is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we met like that, and then we got cool after that. You know what I'm saying?
Like a horrible misunderstanding.
Yeah, big misunderstanding. It could have went left because that gang politics shit is serious. I know motherfuckers out there that's willing to die for me. So it would have went up had I put the bat signal out, but I didn't because it was just like, oh, once we figured out what the misunderstanding was, like, oh shit, nah. Then we got cool after that.
Man,
you know
that's pretty damn wild. The escalation.
He'll tell you.
Yeah. No, Wax. I noticed he's like on a lot of podcasts. He's been out there a lot lately. And really speaking his voice. But that's interesting, man. It's interesting to watch a lot of the OGs come on podcasts as of late and really speak their mind and talk about how the industry was, and people are really, really watching and tapping in.
Yeah.
Especially people who are really hip hop heads.
Yeah.
Been paying attention to it so long. I notice he gets a lot of attention when he speaks.
Yeah, but Wack be doing a lot of other shit too, though. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed he says a lot of stuff that people are like, that's totally left.
He the clubhouse king right now, cuz like he get on that motherfucker and go crazy. So it's like, you know, some shit I agree with, some shit I don't. I just don't voice my opinion much because
it's a hell of a drug to some degree. I think when you can just get instant attention, right? I don't think that's ever been relevant in the history of music. Like, it wasn't like you could just go hop on MTV whenever you wanted,
right,
and a million people were watching you. Now you can kind of do that if you have enough followers on Instagram.
Yeah. But even if you ain't got no followers, bro, I seen motherfuckers who's not relevant nowhere become super relevant on Clubhouse overnight, though.
For real?
Just by content. You know what I'm saying? Content is king right now, bro. That shit is... Motherfuckers will do anything, and as far as like exposing people, trying to find dirt on people and all that, what they call doxing a motherfucker, like all that shit is content now. So that's what's important on Clubhouse.
When you're talk about from kind of the year 2017 till now, kind of like the progression of your career, what you were witnessing to in Detroit.
In Detroit, I'm witnessing a lot of cliques. Mm-hmm. I'm witnessing a lot of circles being formed and a lot of elbows being extended so that way can't nobody else get in type shit. I see a lot of that going on.
Right. And talk about your experience walking through that from 2017 until now. Does anything stand out from 2017 till now as far as what you were doing or what you were producing?
I mean, again, bro, I invested so much energy and time into out of state. I really didn't care too much about what was going on here.
Right on.
You feel me?
When you're looking at it from your third eye, kind of like third perspective view of it, who do you think was the next pivotal player in Detroit after the Doughboyz Cashout, seeing the Team East Side? You know, talking about all the individuals that you've already named, but like, what was the next pivotal moment, do you think, for Detroit music?
Sada.
Do you think T Grizzly and then Sada, or do you think? I'm
gonna tell you why, because. Again, you can make it to the majors. You get what I'm saying? And you going to get your motion from being a major. You feel me? Sada's getting his full fulfillment as an independent. and he got a cult fucking following. A cult following. To the point where he got more than first day out. He got more than that. Way more. You see what I'm saying?
You
like
think
Sada,
that collectively his work outweighs
yeah,
first day
then
out?
on top of that, the fact that he moved his motion, bro, he don't need no major. He out here getting paid off, man, 40,000 a show. I'm not to put his numbers or nothing like that, but I was quoted to get him. Yeah, come with that 40. That good 40 ball. I say, damn, my nigga, he done did it. He done did it.
He definitely didn't make it. So you
Yeah.
think the most pivotal point wasn't T Grizzly, but it was Sada Baby?
It was Sada.
Okay.
It was Sada, bro. And another reason being is because Sada didn't sound like nobody. He's him. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So for me, my opinion, not saying that, this is the facts or this is the end all, he was the end all be all. No. In my opinion, I felt like it was the pivotal point because I did a record with him. He actually did a record with my nephew, but I produced it. And this was some years back when he was recording over there on 7 Mile and on the east side.
Yeah.
And to watch his growth from then to now, come on, man. Ain't nobody doing what he doing, bro. And he having fun. This probably some of the best times he having in his life. So I'm watching this shit, bro, and I'm proud to watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm happy for Dog.
It's legendary for sure, man. Right now, we're looking at the scene. We're seeing that the spotlight is here. Obviously, there's more exposure here than ever. You got to be proud of what's going on, especially being at the major level. You're working with major artists, and then you come over here, and you're watching everything happen, and you can't break in totally yet. I understand that. I understand like they're looking at the OGs a certain way. Maybe they're like you said, the shoulders are out.
Yeah.
And what's your plans right now? How do you plan? Are you planning to break through, or are you planning to just focus on your own bag?
I just do music because I love it at this point.
Okay, cool.
I love music, and I'm willing to work with whoever willing to work with me. Cool. If I like your shit, I fuck with your shit, and you willing to work with me, I'm willing to work with you. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like the Casher dude, I fuck with him. I like him.
Quan.
Yeah, I like Cuz. He dope to me. I fuck with Cuz. It's just on the strength of his mentality, his mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't never got to do a song or nothing together, but I fuck with his mentality. You know what I'm saying?
He's sharp as a razor blade.
Yeah,
man.
he definitely dope. Yeah. But I'm willing, man. I'm willing to see this shit go to levels that we never thought it would go to because Detroit done had a black eye for so long, bro. And for this shit to be where it's at today, hell yeah, I'm proud of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy as hell. I love this shit. And even if I never get my hands in it as far as Detroit goes today, I'm proud to say that I had something to do with being one of the ones that, you know what I'm saying, laid the ground. You know what I mean? Because I put a few bricks out there my damn self, you know?
Oh, for sure, man. No, this has been a great story, hearing your side of things while, again, watching the scene as it progresses. If you could recommend anybody that you think has a perspective as well as you did, or somebody you think has the credentials to speak on a perspective of how the music grew out here and their own legacy as well, who would you recommend me talking to?
I would say reach out to Sino.
Okay.
Sino for sure, because I was with Sino working with him before he even started rapping, bro. Like before, I was around when he was recording his first shit. So Sino is definitely one person that I would say reach out to.
It's interesting that you say Sino because me and Sino presented an award at the Detroit Filmmakers Award ceremony. It was the first time I met him in person, and that might be a sign that we should have been continuously working together. Like, why the hell did they pair us, man?
Nah, but see, now he a fucking movie star. Yeah, I don't even remember I can't even remember the last single he put out, but I know he's huge in the movies, Detroit movies now. K Deezy, shit, get K Deezy on here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like KD, I know he wouldn't mind coming talking because he got a lot of stories and shit. He got a huge history. Yeah. You know, Street Lord One and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for sure. I would definitely, them two off rip that I know of. I mean, Stretch Money, of course, but y'all gotta. I don't know.
No, we're cool. Me and Stretch are cool.
Okay.
There's a misunderstanding of, I think that because somebody else had came on here and talked about him that I rock with, that I have a stance when I never have a stance. I think people just misinterpret stuff without asking sometimes, and then they make up their own conclusion about.
But you really ain't got no control over what a motherfucker jump on here and say too much.
No, you know what? At the end of the day, this is a no beef zone. At the end of the day, if anybody does speak illy, I don't care what side. I'm not taking a side on it, and not only that, I don't really encourage talking about anything that's like a problem with somebody else, problem related.
Yeah.
So I usually cut that out of the. I don't cut it out of the podcast, but I cut the conversation where it's like, all right, you said your
enough
piece.
of that. Yeah,
let's
enough
move
of
on
that.
from it.
Yeah.
But look, man, Gov, it was really. I think out of all the podcasts I've ever done, this is the first time that I was being like educated as a fan of hip hop history.
Yeah.
And as a fan of the people that you've networked with and been with, being a fan of all of them. And now I'm becoming a fan of you, hearing your legacy, what you created, what you helped build, and especially because you did it outside of Detroit and you contributed to Detroit as well.
Yeah,
so it's awesome to hear both sides, and it's awesome to hear how somebody could create a successful career being from here, but knowing that there's another lane too that you can profit off of, and also staying genuine and in nature to not fall for the money and really stick to your guns. So I appreciate hearing your perspective. It's very motivational.
Don't get mad at me neither, bro. But I'm doing a podcast, so I don't want you to look at me like, I can't be a fan of Gub because he got a podcast. My podcast is different. I got a squad of people from all different cities and states. We got a whole team called Detroit to LA, right?
Cool.
And we about to open our podcast. I'm gonna do one called Out the Blue, which is basically out my studio. My studio is Studio Blue, so I'm doing a podcast called Out the Blue where I bring in artists that I feel deserve a platform to be heard and seen, and then I give them an opportunity, like if they pushing a single at the moment, jump in the booth and do a live performance of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to do something different for the artists. I never did no music reviews or no shit like that because I just felt like now you really pushing it, you reaching when you start doing that.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But as far as the podcast go, it's some interesting artists that haven't been heard that need to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to open up the doors for that. But other than that, man, I don't want you looking at me crazy like Gub then started a podcast. Fuck.
Everybody, man. I think anybody that's rich in history and talented and has contributed that's who should be starting podcasts. I spoke about how I don't like rappers and artists starting podcasts if they're in the game to the point where like
they shit ain't cracking and they trying to use that to get cracking.
Well, even if you are popping off, if you're doing very well with your music, I think it kills the mystique of the artist. Like Ice Cube's still to this day my favorite. Dr. Dre, my favorite quote he ever said was, artists are killing their mystique because they're overexposed.
Right.
And so when I'm watching a rapper do a podcast, it's like, yo, let the journalist do the journalism side. You stay the star. But you're so rich in history, and like you said, you're not really focused on getting a bag off music like you were because you already did it.
Yeah.
So starting a podcast makes total sense. You can enrich the history of the game.
Yeah.
But one other note I wanted to ask you was, all right, I know this is a generic ass question, but I got to ask you because you've seen this and you were there.
Okay.
So everybody talks about Eminem when we come on this podcast, and when you're talking about him and it comes to hip hop, he gets left off some lists. He'll get left off major lists. You'll see Nas on there. You'll see Jay-Z. You won't see Eminem on there for some reason.
Yeah.
But then especially in Detroit, a lot of people are like, well, Eminem, for some reason, that respect and that regard isn't there totally when you talk about legends from Detroit. Sometimes they'll just literally skip his name. Or like, nobody's bumping Eminem out here.
Right.
They just posted today about how he had 50 billion streams.
Right.
There was a lot of people in the comments of Detroit Rap Daily saying, nobody's out here bumping Eminem.
Right.
And so do you see that, what perspective do you see on why Eminem doesn't really get Detroit recognition totally?
Because he's not talking about spinning the block, popping perks.
He kind of is, though. A lot of songs.
I'm talking about, but on the level of what's going on today. Sipping lean, all that shit, pouring foes, and
but he kind of was, though.
But he was doing it at a level of sarcasm.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
That's true. Like
a lot of these motherfuckers that's rapping about it really doing it.
Yeah, he did make a statement saying he didn't start doing that stuff until he became a rapper. Like until he started getting money for real.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really on those drugs until he actually made it as an artist.
Right, and then that's another thing. The pressure from the industry, just the pressure from the industry brings pressure from the world. So not only is you fighting against the industry on a day-to-day basis, you fighting family members, you fighting friends, you fighting the world. So it becomes heavy on you, and mentally some people tap out. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they can escape through substance abuse and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately for me, I never smoked weed in my life. I never popped no pills, never smoked no squares, no Black and Milds, none of that shit. I always thought I was too cool for that shit. Plus I don't like the smell of it in your clothes. But that's another thing.
Okay.
But I've chose other shit that kept my mind, in a cool place, which music for one. I did a lot of fucking too, but
No cap.
but yeah, I got 8 kids, so yeah, man.
Damn,
but,
8's a number, man.
Yeah. But it's cool though, cause shit, I'd rather have 8 kids than 8 friends. That means 8 less knives in my back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but all in all, bro, he not on that tip. He not on the shit that a lot of the youngsters is on. So his shit is not relevant. You know, he's too lyrical, and a lot of shit. A lot of people don't like to think no more. You know what I'm saying? They just want to hear what they want to hear, and that's it. Then, you know, it's fucked up because we back at that stage in rap where drill is actually an influence.
Wow, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of murders and shit occurring because of drill.
Yeah, you're listening to the music, and it's like, I remember people were coming on here talking about how Doughboyz Cashout's music got them all pumped up to just knock people in the city, like just elbow bump somebody, just shoulder to shoulder somebody just for no reason. Now imagine drill music, and you're really out there, and you might feel that way when you're listening to this drill music. You might.
Hey, bro, I had a young motherfucker come to my studio and record a record, and he needed a sound effect for Draco. He pulled one out his pants, and it fucked me up because I'm like, dog, we in the studio. What the fuck you doing? I got kids in here, nigga. What if that bitch go off? You know what I'm saying? It's sad where we at with this shit today, bro. Like, niggas is bringing actual guns, like real fucking guns to the studio. Like, that shit weird. So I started keeping my shit right on the console. So you already know any bullshit I'm shooting.
Yeah, I love my favorite meme is that video director shooting a music video
with his gun attached to the camera.
The camera's like, damn.
I saw that shit.
Yeah,
I saw that shit.
I was living like that for a while too. I could not believe looking back at some of my pictures because I used to shoot music videos. I used to have people literally pointing AK-47s at me. I'm just saying like, oh yeah, no cap.
Come on, man. It didn't got worse. Now they bringing it to the studio and hey, record this. I'm like, man, what the fuck, bro? You niggas is tripping, but that's where we at, man, and that's the reason why I'm gonna just say this shit. I'm not a supporter of that shit. I don't support that shit at all. I don't support the message behind it. I don't support the effect that it's taking on the kids. I don't support that shit.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's get a bag mode right now, so by any means necessary, even if it hurts a future generation of coming up in a positive manner, in a manner that makes them better human beings, they don't give a damn because they need the money. Yeah, which I understand to some degree. But anyway, man, like I said, it's really been an honor having you on, bro.
Man,
I can't wait for people to see this, and thank you again for being a part of this. We'll get an update from you soon, man.
Oh, yeah, bro. I'm going to stay tapped in with you like I always do, man.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
We had Big Gov in the building, man. We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Vision Shooting Productions. We're out.